Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Gold Rush, desperate cry for help. Who saves Tony's season? Gold Rush star Tony Beats may be king of the Klondike, but this season has been horrific for the seasoned gold miner. He is mining a fraction of what Parker Schnabel is mining. Moreover, the loss of his son Kevin has seemed to create an imbalance on the Beats team. But help is on the way. Who is coming to save Tony in the Gold Rush Season 14? Episode 14, Desperate Cry for Help. Note that the Discovery synopsis has shared a major spoiler. Read on with caution. Who saves Tony's season in Gold Rush episode Desperate Call for Help? Gold Rush fans have been watching Tony Beats and his family struggle throughout Season 14. It all started with Kevin Beats deciding to take the season off to garden and hang out at home. Tony even asked Parker for help, but Schnabel refused. However, in the upcoming Season 14, Episode 14 entitled Desperate Call for Help, someone does come to the rescue to save Tony. According to the Rotten Tomatoes synopsis, Tony's son Kevin returns to help save the family business. Parker scrambles to fix a burst dam and keep the big Dominion Creek gold weights going. Wildfires threaten to shut Rick down before he can bring in his first bench-cut gold. This is fantastic news for the Beats team. Mike and Monica have given it their all, but they are struggling. In the previous episode Parker Comes Alive, Tony moved the whole operation to Paradise Hill, yet he could not keep his cool when his daughter Monica was not doing exactly what he wanted. This was a painful breakdown for Monica and everyone watching the Discovery Gold mining show. Kevin Beats is confident and competent. Moreover, he has the full trust of his father. But can he save this season? Parker Schnabel mining nearly 5 times the gold Tony Beats is. Perhaps what is the most shocking revelation about this season of Gold Rush is to see Parker Schnabel's totals are nearly 5 times that of Tony Beats' totals. So far, Parker has weighed in 2,222.4 ounces of gold, at a value of $4.35 million. As for Tony, they have managed to scrape together 462.42 ounces at a value of $924,840. This could quickly change. Parker's burst dam issues could keep him off the gold and focused on rebuilding. Despite his big gamble and constant fear of bankruptcy, the Schnabel crew has been consistent as always. As for Rick Ness, he is dealing with some unforeseen circumstances. Like Parker, the obstacles facing the derailment of his season have nothing to do with his equipment or crew. Unfortunately, fires are a real issue that miners have to deal with. Can these two miners find a way to overcome some of the worst challenges of this season? Tony stood on the edge of his claim, staring out at the endless expanse of Alaskan wilderness. The snow-capped mountains loomed in the distance, a stark reminder of the challenges he faced. The gold rush had drawn him here, like so many others, with dreams of striking it rich, but now those dreams seemed further away than ever. His equipment was failing, his crew was losing faith, and the season was slipping away. Desperation gnawed at him like a relentless wolf. The roar of machinery filled the air, a constant backdrop to their efforts. But today that roar was missing. Instead, there was a deafening silence, broken only by the occasional clink of a shovel or the murmur of disheartened voices. Tony knew he needed a miracle. The veins of gold that had once promised so much were drying up, and without a major find, his season, and his livelihood, was doomed. As he walked through the camp, Tony's eyes caught the weary faces of his crew. Men and women who had trusted him, who had followed him into this harsh, unforgiving land, now looked at him with doubt. He couldn't blame them. He felt the same doubt gnawing at his own resolve. "Tony, we need to talk," came a voice from behind him. It was Jack, his foreman and old friend. Jack had been with him from the start, through the highs and the lows. Tony turned to face him, trying to muster a smile. "What's on your mind, Jack?" Tony asked, though he already knew. "We're running out of time and resources," Jack said bluntly. "We need a plan, and we need it now. Otherwise, we might as well pack up and go home. Tony sighed. I know, Jack. Believe me, I know, but what can we do? The equipment is breaking down faster than we can fix it, and the gold just isn't there. Jack hesitated, then spoke softly. There's a man I've heard of up north. They call him Goldfinder. Supposedly, he has a nose for gold, can find it where no one else can. Maybe he could help us. Tony raised an eyebrow. Goldfinder? Sounds like a legend. Maybe, Jack conceded. But what do we have to lose? If we don't get help, we're finished anyway. The next morning, Tony set out to find Goldfinder. The journey was treacherous, through dense forests and over icy rivers. Days turned into weeks, and still, there was no sign of the mysterious prospector. Tony's resolve wavered, but the thought of his crew and their families kept him going. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he stumbled upon a small cabin nestled in a secluded valley. Smoke curled from the chimney, and the smell of fresh coffee wafted through the air. Tony approached cautiously, unsure of what to expect. The door creaked open before he could knock, and a wiry man with piercing blue eyes stood before him. You must be Tony, he said, his voice calm and steady. I've been expecting you. Are you Goldfinder? Tony asked, still wary. The man nodded. That's what they call me. Come in, and let's talk. Inside, the cabin was cozy and warm. Maps and charts covered the walls, and various tools and equipment were neatly arranged. Goldfinder poured them both a cup of coffee and motioned for Tony to sit. You've come a long way, Goldfinder said. Tell me about your claim. Tony explained the situation, the failing equipment, the dwindling gold, and the desperation that had driven him here. Goldfinder listened intently, nodding occasionally. When Tony finished, Goldfinder leaned back in his chair. I can help you, he said simply. But it won't be easy. We'll need to work together, and you'll need to trust me completely. Tony felt a glimmer of hope. I'll do whatever it takes. Just tell me what to do. Over the next few days, Goldfinder taught Tony the secrets of finding gold in the most unlikely places. They pored over maps, analyzing the terrain and identifying potential hotspots. Goldfinder's knowledge was uncanny, almost supernatural. He seemed to sense where the gold lay hidden deep beneath the earth. Armed with this new knowledge, Tony returned to his claim with renewed determination. He gathered his crew and shared what he had learned. Skepticism gave way to hope as they saw the fire in Tony's eyes. They worked tirelessly, following Goldfinder's instructions to the letter. Days turned into weeks, and slowly but surely the gold began to flow. The veins that had seemed barren yielded their treasures, and the roar of machinery returned to the camp. But it wasn't just the gold that saved Tony's season. It was the bond that formed among the crew, the renewed sense of purpose and camaraderie. They were no longer just digging for gold. They were digging for their future, their dreams. As the season drew to a close, Tony stood once again on the edge of his claim, looking out at the endless expanse of wilderness. But this time he felt a sense of peace. They had faced the odds and come out stronger, and he knew, deep down, that they would face whatever challenges came their way. Goldfinder left as mysteriously as he had appeared, but his legacy remained. Tony and his crew would never forget the desperate cry for help that had brought them together, and the stranger who had saved their season. The gold rush had given them more than just riches. It had given them hope and the strength to keep fighting, no matter what. And in the quiet moments when the camp was still and the stars shone brightly overhead, Tony would remember the lessons learned and the friendships forged in the heart of the Alaskan wilderness. The gold was a blessing, but it was the journey and the people that truly mattered, and with that knowledge, Tony knew they would face the future with courage and determination.